There has been quite the uproar lately in the Call of Dragons community over the past changes that have occurred in S2 Plus. And with it, those changes, they're not a good trend. They seem like they're going to bring the game downhill. So in this video, we'll be discussing the feedback community and what we can propose in order to save Call of Dragons. What is up guys, MEOWER here back with a brand new Call of Dragons video. So Season Blue Plus has brought some really kind of unpleasant changes to the game. This video I'll just be flat out honest. I'll try not to sugarcoat everything. I'll just say it at face value. Season 2 Plus changes, especially to the March capacity, which is somewhat fine, I guess, if it was announced beforehand. The nuking of elixir healing, the inability to join your allies after the 7 days resurgence, and so much more have left a bad taste in the community because, well, no one wants to feel limited in how to play the game or how if they can whether they can join their allies or not. So in this video we'll be discussing the feedback that has occurred over the past 3 days or so in the Call of Dragons community as more and more players are discovering what happened, and it's starting to leave quite the bad taste in everyone's mouth. So before we get started, don't forget to drop a like, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started. So lately, over the past 3 days, there has been, I don't know if anyone has been following, but there has been quite the uproar in the Call of Dragons community, especially on Discord, where there have been almost riots every other day, or every night rather. Some of the memes were pretty funny, not gonna lie, but there have been just flat out riots over what happened on all the changes that have occurred into the game. And the problem with those changes is that they happened unannounced, okay? And they feel like it feels like they're catering to a player base that doesn't even play the game. Like, one, elixir healing got nerfed. Okay, elixir healing production in your hospital, for example, at level 25 was 57,000. It dropped all the way to 37,500 for no explanation and no mention of it whatsoever, which is a big blow to everyone's gameplay, really, because the whole point and the selling point of this game is free healing. So nerfing free healing pretty much like turns it into just another cookie cutter game. If I wanted to play a game that has a system where you can have play resources or any to heal or any of that stuff, I would just go play Rise of Kingdoms because that already exists. So the developers started the game with a different direction, which was elixir healing and how good it was and how it benefited literally everyone. Like there was not a single person that was pretty much badly affected by the healing system. I mean, the Elixir rework was at first taken in a bad way, but after they heard the feedback and adjusted, I think it's a pretty good system, all things considered. And it keeps the game fun because you can constantly heal troops, and as much as you can heal troops, you can keep fighting, even with the stamina limiter. It kept the game fun and entertaining. But nerfing the elixir healing, that's number one. And the policy tree rework as well has been pretty underwhelming with how difficult it has been to obtain prestige. But that's not really like a big of an issue because I guess like Policy Tree is not meant to be finished in the first couple of weeks of the season, which should be fine. But the reward of launching those policy technology for what they give has been pretty meh as well. Like it's been pretty underwhelming. So those two things have really coupled together have really hurt players in general, whether if it's whales or spenders or free to play as well, and especially free to play. Like this season has been starting to get known as the anti free to play season because it just nerfs free to play so much. Coupled with the increased March capacity. March capacity has been expanded from 240k to 250k to up all the way up to 360k. So that jump is massive. 110k extra troops per march is pretty insane. Like not a lot of people are gonna be able to sustain that. Plus, it just buffs people that already have big existing marches that much more that they can keep their marches full and they're gonna deal more damage because the whole point of damage comes from your march size. So if you the bigger the march size, the more damage you're gonna do. And when you fight people with lesser march sizes, you're gonna absolutely obliterate them. So that's point number three, which is the March size increase. I mean, personally, I think it's okay if it was announced beforehand and maybe push it another season, like push it towards maybe the start of season three, because I know this is probably a change for season three, but just wait till season three and see how it feels, because we've already had a policy tree rework and elixir healing get nerfed. So all these three things combined have left quite a sour taste in everyone's mouth, and we're gonna be checking the feedback provided from players here on my Discord. I've asked the players to share their feedback, give it in a constructive manner, so we can all huddle together as a community to see the game we all love flourish. Because to be honest, 50 servers that have opened since 200, server 230 for 3 months, so that's 3 months with only 50 servers, is not a good indicator. Okay, the game has so much potential, but it feels like this identity crisis it's having is starting to really show, and it's really starting to hurt from it. For example, Rise of Kingdoms, its counterpart, still opening servers to this day in a very rapid manner. Right now, we went from having 2 servers per day open to only 1 server every 3 days. That is not a good indicator. Plus, this is complaining happening from the already existing player base. So all this stuff is not looking good. Like the game has so much potential, and it has the potential to overtake Rise of Kingdoms, overtake every single game in the genre. Just please, just listen to the community and be transparent with the changes. So now we're gonna be going over the uh, feedback provided by players, starting with Boo. One of the things that he said, he structured it pretty nicely. I will go over pretty much everything else, but everything that's structured nicely, I will go over first. So there have been 3 main, or rather 4, or how many points did he make? 6 main points that he made. So number one, removing resurgence after 7 days. That is a big and wrong change. Why would I be limited from joining my friends in another zone? Say for example, let's just take it like this. Say for example, in my zone, I didn't get along with the alliance that I have in my zone after the 7 day period when the resurgence event is over. What am I supposed to do till the end of the season if that alliance is much bigger than mine? At first, I could have just researched to another zone. I will pay the resurgence tax, I would say, but I would still be able to continue playing the game. But now I can't play the game anymore if I'm not with happy neighbors and I'm a weaker factor. I would just sit in the farm in the little truce island, which kind of makes no sense. Like it is a war game after all. Like why would I have a truce island when I can just play, war games and zone ones are already uninvadable? So what's the point? Unless you resurge, and resurgence pretty much hurts everyone. No matter how big you are, resurgence will knock you out for a few days. It doesn't matter. Plus, you're not going to be able to drop a fort down when you resurge into an already existing alliance's zone that is remotely active. Like it makes no sense. These changes feel kind of random. Number two, increasing the Legion March capacity to 360k. Like this pretty much just helps whales more than free to play, but the majority of the player base started as free to play, or pretty much everyone starts as free to play, and once they join the game, they start spending. So we kind of risk alienating free to play players that could potentially turn into spenders, and the whole point of the game, after all, is just to make money. So alienating the potential payers is not a good thing. Removing barricades, that's a change that everyone pretty much kind of is okay with, but I would have preferred having barricades get nerfed than flat out removed. But that is just gonna apply in the next update, which should be coming soon, but that's a topic for a different video. Number 4, Dragon Trail. Dragon Trail's rework has made it completely an uneventful thing. It has been just brain dead easy. There's no challenge from it. Like I finished it from 80 to 160 in less than an hour. They nerfed the XP of it. Dragon Trail coins is kind of difficult now to obtain without the quick loot option because it kind of helped out a lot. So, like, it's a strange change. Most of these changes are very strange. I don't know who the target audience is for them. Changing prestige. Prestige change, I kind of disagree with maxing policies of Hertz Wales or whatever. Like prestige change is fine if the policy tree was worth it. The policy tree right now, as it is, it's not worth it. It's not as rewarding as it should be for the amount of effort you have to do in order to maximize the policy tree. Fine, right? So I would be okay with the policy tree and the prestige change happening if the policies were worth it. The policies right now are priced at the old prestige income basis, and it's worse than before. Like we lost War Studies 2 that gave even more hero XP than it is right now. So before we had around um, what's the number? We had another War Studies, for example, that gave 7.5% increased hero XP. So we lost that. We lost artifact expertise. Uh, we lost medical progress too. We lost so much stuff. We lost like quite a lot of stuff that didn't really need to be gone. Like that's fine if others were compensated for that loss, but just flat out removing it is not a good thing. Though I gotta give credit where credit is due. Partial reset has been absolutely amazing, and I love that change. At first I thought I would be against it, but in reality I absolutely love it. So gotta give credit where it is due. Now, nerfing free healing. Again, nerfing free healing, like the whole selling point of Call of Dragons to like entice players to come is nerfing is the free healing aspect of the game. The inability to get zeroed made you be able to fight constantly. And it's not like fights never end or anything. Fights do end. The winner always gets decided one way or another. Plus, it kind of makes the game more action packed. Like do you want players to fight more, thus, feel the need to spend more, like to keep up with others, or do you want them to just fight for a couple of minutes and oh look, my troops are out and now I'm incapacitated for 3 or 4 days. I can't do anything. I'm out of the game pretty much for that till I'm back up. Like cutting that much is just not good. Okay, it defeats the purpose of the game. And even if we want players to resource heal, that's not the way to do it. Resource heal, just buff it without touching free healing. It makes no sense to just nerf free healing this much just for the sake of buffing resource healing, which to be fair isn't even that good still, because mana pricing for healing T5s, for example, is atrociously high. Like it doesn't matter how much it costs, it is still insanely high, especially for games such as Call of Dragons. And again, if I wanted a healing system like Rise of Kingdoms, I would go and play Rise of Kingdoms. Okay, I don't like the constant comparison between Call of Dragons and Rise of Kingdoms in those systems because both of them are inherently different games at their core. They might share similarities, but in the beginning of the end, they are different games with different titles. If I wanted to play Rise of Kingdoms, I would just go play there. If I wanted to play Call of Dragons, then that's what I'm doing. Okay, now, one of the most upvoted suggestions in Call of Dragons for quite a while has been made by Darkhill, the leader of the EIS. I love watching EIS in combat, just saying. But yeah, fanboying aside, he says, revert season 2 plus changes, almost all of them are bad. Give us back free healing policies, I agree. Revert the Mars change size or increase the healing to match it, 100%. Preach, bro, preach. That is number one. Number two, don't allow a team to join a season with 200 members if the cap will be 200. This makes you kick members not to be over the cap who are you with at the end of the season. From what I understood, I think the membership capacity will be increased again after the starting 80, but I'm not 100% sure on this. So feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below. Allow people to join alliances from other regions than their starting region. Why do I need to be hostaged in my region and not be able to join my allies? Say, for example, my union started in another region and they need my help in another zone. They need a rally leader in the middle of a zone where we both meet with each other. Why should I be punished for that? Like, why? What's the point of this? Before, we had the ability to join each other's alliances if someone had had a behemoth in the zone. That has been removed from the game. Just why? This change is so unnecessary. It keeps players hostage. Like this whole betrayal meta and all that stuff, that is pointless. That is just a single group's experience, and that group's experience relies entirely on their decisions or whatnot. But that's not the point of this video. The point is, why should the many suffer for the few? It doesn't make any sense. And finally, reducing hospital capacity from 57k each to 37. This season's space free healing has been pretty bad. Plus the elixir policies are kind of bugged as well. They're not even giving the proper percentages, and we lost around 45% of our regular free healing bonus. Like it makes no sense. So hopefully this video reaches the right people and they can address these issues because as they are right now, people are not happy. I'm not happy, and I'm a diehard Call of Dragons fanboy, and so have been so many of my friends. But when I start to hear the biggest whales in the game, including one of the top three spenders in the entire game, saying that they're not gonna spend anymore on the game, it kind of hurts to hear it. All the bigger alliances are trying to say, why would I spend anymore when the developers are not even listening to us and they're making decisions catered to people that don't even play the game. Like, again, I want to emphasize this. If I want a system like Rise of Kingdoms, I would go play Rise of Kingdoms. Let's please stop treating Call of Dragons like Rise of Kingdoms and build on the stuff that truly differentiate this game from every single other game in the genre. I'm sorry for my long rant, but I feel like I needed to get this off my chest. Hopefully the developers listen and they kind of go back on some of these changes. Like the old system is not bad. If it's not broke, don't fix it, please. Like no one really complained about any of that stuff, to be honest. So please help us save Call of Dragons. And again, I want to emphasize on this: 50 servers in around 3 months or more is not a good metric to be following, especially for a brand new game. So let alone alienating the already existing player base. So please help us and let us help you. We all want to see the game we all love succeed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please be sure to drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Join the Discord, the link is in the description. Hopefully this will be the last type of video I have to do on a topic like this, but fingers crossed. Meow meow.